All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I'm back again with another video. I hope that everybody is doing good and staying safe on this Sunday. Sunny yay. Yeah, you guys. So I hope that all is well. And yeah, you guys, this is not gonna be too much of a long video. But I kind of did just wanted to talk a little bit about a topic in regards to, because I know someone was saying on the last slide that we did, shout out to those that came in the room. I also did go live on my IG. So if you guys are not following me on there, make sure that you do so. And also, you guys follow me on Facebook. I am on Facebook as well. So make sure that you guys are following me, like the page, and like this video too, just so that way other people can see it and it can help them and it can bless them at the same time, right? Somebody may need to hear the message. So anyway, I wanted to talk about overcoming being afraid of speaking up about your story in regards to dealing with the narcissist, or speaking your truth, speaking your side of the story, on what happened to you in your situation. Now, again, as a disclaimer, I'm not telling anybody what to do. Some people feel comfortable, not speaking up, not sharing what happened to them. Some people are like, you know what, I just want to keep this to myself. This is very personal. This is very private. And this could also be a very sensitive topic where you feel like you don't want people to know what happened to you, and I completely understand. I know me many years ago, back in 2014, 2015, dealing with a lot of insecurities, dealing with a lot of addictions and emotional baggage, emotional trauma, things that kind of like held me back, obstacles, triggers, different things. I really kind of found myself just being silenced. I found myself being ashamed, feeling rejected, feeling abandoned, feeling lonely, feeling sad and disappointed, kind of thing. And I just felt like, no one needs to hear my story. I don't need to say anything. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get over it one day. It's not going to affect anybody. It's not going to touch anyone. I'm a nobody. Like, nobody cares about what I've gone through. You get me? And those were a lot of like, programs, negative belief systems, just other thought patterns that came in mind that was, kind of taught to me growing up, unbeknownst to the people that raised me per se. I don't think that they did anything on purpose, but it could have just been their belief systems was passed down from their parents, and vice versa. It was kind of like a generational trauma that kind of occurred. Now if you want to learn more about that, I did make a video about that. So if you want to learn more about like generational trauma, generational curses, I'll go ahead and I'll link the video below, so that way you can learn more, especially if you feel like that's what you're going through right now. But yeah, you guys. So, again, I felt very afraid to speak up about my story because, again, another thing, a lot of former victims and survivors feel humiliated. They feel very, just like I said, ashamed, just hopeless, helpless. They feel weak. They feel, that like a lot of people want to have this image where they're like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't want anyone to know that I've been through this situation. I don't want anyone to know that I was a victim of, whether it was domestic violence, or I was a victim of emotional trauma, or I was a victim of PTSD, or I was a victim of all kinds of things that occurred to individuals. Or it could have been emotional incest when it comes to, dealing with parents and other family members, right? Or, it could have been someone was sexually assaulted, or, someone was taken advantage of sexually by their family members, or somebody was touched or felt upon by, a close family member or a friend or a relative, that kind of stuff. No one really wants to admit that. And I get it. I mean, we all want to be perfect, right? But we're not. You know what I mean? So those could be some touchy subjects. Those could be some subjects where it could make us feel, like I said, a lot of fear. It can make us feel like introverted. It could make us feel shy. It can make us feel just kind of isolated, feeling rejected. as well, and also feeling not good enough, not feeling worthy, feeling like it's something wrong with us or we need to do something to fix ourselves, even though it is a good idea to work on ourselves, to self-develop, self-improve, and self-progress, right? Progress in our lives, always be moving forward, always be progressing and being productive and constructive, right? That's the goal, Let me grab a drink of water real quick and chime in. I don't know who's all going to be in the room. I know every live is different. We have some folks that come in, some folks kind of tune into the live after it's already done. Don't hesitate to leave a comment. Don't hesitate to leave feedback or, your thoughts on this topic. I would really love to hear and to know what you guys think, because whatever you think or whatever you say, maybe somebody needs to hear that. You never know, right? Because everybody resonates with any, like, somebody's message. Somebody could hear something and it may resonate with them versus what somebody else says. You get me? So you never know. So anyways, you guys, so yes, don't be afraid to share your story when it comes to dealing with narcissistic abuse. Now, it doesn't necessarily just have to be only about narcissistic abuse. I mean, again, don't be afraid to share anything that, as far as, if you've gone through something and you felt like it really, it traumatized you or it damaged you in some way or it broke you. If you feel comfortable, like I said, I'm not telling anybody what to do, right? No pressure here. It's just more so like, if you feel that it's something that you've dealt with and you cannot get over, you might want to make sure that you share it with somebody that you trust, right? That's the key. You have to make sure whoever it is that you're sharing sensitive information like this to, obviously you have to trust them, right? Or they have to be a professional, or they have to be somebody that has gone through a similar experience. So that way they can validate you, they can relate to you, they can make you feel secure, they can make you feel heard, they can make you feel seen and understood. So that way you're able to process everything that's happened, and that way you're able to cope and you're able to manage your emotions, your feelings, and kind of decipher between, okay, yes, this did happen. I was a victim of this particular abuse, or this particular individual that had a personality disorder, but I'm going to get some support. I'm going to work on my traumas. I'm going to work on my baggage. I'm going to work on my insecurities. So that way I won't be continuously being a victim of this type of situation, or continuously attracting these type of individuals, or continuously finding myself in these type of situations, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. You get me? So yes, I hope that makes sense. But and the reason why I brought this up was because there was a person that mentioned something about domestic violence, and I'll definitely do a video about that. And like I said, thank God I have personally never been through that, but I know people who have, and that can be a very, very scary thing, you guys. And so that's why I always say you want to make sure that you get help. Don't be afraid. Don't feel like, oh, I gotta be strong about this, or thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Yeah. Don't feel that you got to do this on your own and you can just move on to the next person. Like, please don't do that, because you're going to end up hurting somebody else. But then not only that, you just want to make sure that you just kind of see it as, yes, I might have been taken advantage of, or I was a victim of this type of abuse, or this particular person or situation, and now I want to do something different. I want to move past this. Like, I don't want to stay stuck in the past, or I don't want to keep beating myself up because of, whether somebody made a mistake or you felt like you made a mistake. You don't want to keep reliving that trauma. You don't want to keep reliving that hurt, right? You don't want to keep reliving that pain, because it doesn't do you any good, because it could be like maybe the person that hurt you or the person that traumatized you, I'm pretty sure they still remember, but they probably moved on with their life. They're probably not even thinking about you or anything. I mean, they may think about you from time to time, but they're off living their life, and you're over here hurting, right? And then you could be trying to mix and mingle with other people or get to know new individuals, but it's like a lot of times you may push them away, or you may feel like oh yeah, I'll hang out, but I'm not going to allow them to get too close to me because I don't want to feel that pain again. You get me? So you see how that is kind of stopping you from like really living your life. It's stopping you from experiencing happiness, peace, joy, serenity, versus the other person, which they could still be in pain, or they may try to pretend like, oh yeah, I'm happy. Um, but in actuality, they probably not, or they could just be living in a disillusion with the person that they're with now. You get me? So, but again, it's not really about the person that hurt you per se. It's good to like learn from it. But now it's like, okay, what about you? Like, all right, what's the aftermath? Now we have to pick up the pieces. We have to, deal with our feelings, like I said, deal with our emotions and work on moving forward. You get me? Not going backwards, because when you go backwards, it's like, okay, like I've already been here before. I already learned these lessons, or I should have learned these lessons. You know what I'm saying? Or are you repeating cycles? Are you repeating toxic, past or toxic traumas or toxic situations? Or if you move forward, you're like, oh, wait, okay, this is a new experience. This is a new, adventure here. Something new for me, right? And you have to be open, though. That's the thing. Now, if you're not open, don't force it, right? Because I know that the person before mentioned in the live, they said that they are not dating, right? And I think they have been with the narcissist for a really long time, and they have been single for a really long time, right? And again, it's totally fine if you feel like you don't want to date. I get it. I completely understand. It hurts, right? When you've been traumatized by a narcissist, whether it's like a romantic situation, a love interest, a partner, or if it was a parent, right? Or if it was an in-law, or it was an associate, or it could have been a coworker or a boss, or you get me? Like, that stuff traumatizes you, and it could really keep you stuck for the rest of your life. It could keep you just kind of just miserable, or keep you feeling afraid, or keeping you feeling a lot of fear of like having a similar experience. It could also make you protect yourself, which I get. I mean, because, who doesn't want to protect yourself? I mean, you should, right? You should want to protect yourself and keep yourself safe from danger and harm. Like, we all should do that, but at the end of the day, you have to begin to trust again, right? And open up, but in your own timing. You don't want to force it, right? But like I said, it just depends on what you want. So some people are like, hey, you know what, Joy, I don't want to date anymore. Like, I'm good. Like, I like, some people may say, you know what, I want to be by myself for the rest of my life. And that's your prerogative. That's totally understandable. Um, but everybody's different. You get me? Some people are like, hey, you know what, I'm kind of open to dating again. Like, I want to meet someone else. I'm not going to allow like a situation from the past to leave. I mean, yeah, you may feel scarred, right? You may feel like that person left a scar on you, like there's a wound right there. And from time to time, you may meet new people and you could get triggered, right? You might deal with certain triggers, right? And it's, your job as the individual that have certain triggers. You have to learn how to manage those triggers and not allow certain things to upset you, perhaps, or make you feel angry. I mean, it is okay to feel angry, right? It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to be happy, but some things, it's like you want to move beyond those triggers, right? You want to move beyond those emotions that maybe make you feel uncomfortable, or makes you feel uneasy, or makes you feel unsettled. Like, you want to move beyond those triggers, right? You get me? So yeah, I hope that made sense, you guys. But like I said, yeah, I get it. And then again, there was another person that had mentioned something about, because this individual, again, I never mention names. Like, this is not about that. This is about what, you guys? Education, being informative, and being able to inform an individual, and also bringing awareness, right, to the situation. So anyways, the individual booked a session with me, and they wanted to talk to me, or they were saying like, hey, Joy, like, I need some advice when it came to dealing with their narcissist. I want to say it was a partner that was the narc. And we had a date, as far as like when we were going to talk on the phone, or actually, I think it might have been a video chat, but it was either a video chat or it was over the phone. But anyways, the individual, I think it was the point in time where they was actually living with the narc. So that can be, I understand how some people may feel afraid or feel fear when it comes to like speaking up or talking about what they've gone through, right? So I get that. I understand that perspective, but I was trying to tell the individual, like, hey, maybe we should do it when the narc is at work, or that they're going to be out and about, they're not going to be home. You get me? But the individual was just so frightened, did not want to risk like being on the phone or being on a video chat, that they just decided to get a reading, which, it's all good, because whatever I can do to help, I do want to make sure that I'm doing that. And like I said, anybody want to reach out to me for any particular support, please visit my website. I'm going to link that below, just a heads up. But yeah, so that individual was just so frightened, so afraid, and I get it. No judgment, because again, I was there. I was frightened, you guys. I was so scared. And the thing about it, because after I had went through the abuse, like with my aunt and with the male narc, they lived within proximity of me. Well, my aunt lived maybe about, I would say 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And the male narc maybe lived about an hour away. But there's the internet, social media. So people can watch, people can look, people are smart these days. They know how to look you up and find out where you at, like your site or your social media kind of thing. So people will know, you get me? So I don't know. Honestly, I didn't really care about that anymore. I know that my aunt at the time, after I went no contact with her, it was like the starting of 2015. I knew she had been doing a smear campaign against me with other relatives and family members that knew me and stuff like that. I just didn't care. I didn't care. I just more so cared about like how I felt and, my healing process, and also, being able to help others. Because again, I know that there's people out there that could be dealing with a situation now where they're frightened to talk about their situation. They're scared. They feel lonely, they feel isolated, and they feel a lot of doubts and worries, and it doesn't help, but I guess if you're wondering like, hey, Joy, well, how do I overcome these fears? How do I overcome being afraid to share my story and even to speak to someone about it? Because that's another thing. So a lot of people can be afraid to speak up, afraid to talk to someone about what they've gone through. And I just say, it's nothing really to be afraid of, to be honest. It's like you're just acknowledging like, hey, yes, I had this experience. Hey, yes, I'm hurting. Hey, yes, you might feel broken, you could feel damaged, and that's fine. That's okay. Like, you're not a perfect person, but I know society likes to make it seem like we should be perfect, but we're not. It's like, no. But yeah, we all go through things, and yeah, it's totally fine. But the key is, where it gets to be kind of unhealthy is when you stay in the hurt, when you stay in the pain, because then you don't allow yourself to open yourself up, so that way you can expand and you can grow and move beyond the pain and move beyond the hurt. You get me? So yeah, give yourself some time. Like, give yourself, like me, I gave myself like a year or two to like face my feelings, deal with my hurt, or even like 6 months. I was able to allow myself to grieve. I gave myself the most time that I felt was good for me. And then I allowed myself to move past that wounds, those emotional wounds, that emotional baggage. And it's not to say today, like the thoughts don't come in my mind. It's just that it's not a trigger. You get me? It doesn't affect me like how it used to in the past. You get me? So, that's just something to be mindful of and be aware, And so, but yeah, I guess in terms of like overcoming feeling that like being afraid is really, even if, let's say, you want to talk about what you've gone through, and maybe let's say you're living with a narc, like maybe you're living with your narc parent, or you're living with a narc spouse, then maybe it's like, maybe you want to book a session or talk to someone, like either if it's at a certain center where the narcissist won't be there, or maybe you might want to talk about the narcissist like in your car, if you have a car, or let's say you're going for a walk. Like maybe you might go for a walk and you have like a headset and you can talk to, like, whether it's a therapist, a coach, or a counselor, maybe you want to do that. Or like I said, if you know for sure the times that, let's say, your narc partner is at work, maybe you want to have a time where, you talk to somebody then. You get me? So that way you won't be feeling fear that the narcissist is going to walk in and then you're going to be in trouble, kind of thing. Because again, I get it, because sometimes the narcissist can get you to where you're totally reliant on them. And that's how they want it to be. So that way they can have full power and full control over your life, and you don't want to do that. You guys, don't give your power away. I'm just saying. But anyways, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. Speak up, you guys. Speak out. Don't allow fear to make you feel stifled and like shy, and again, if that's your personality, that it is what it is. You get me? But don't allow the narcissist to silence you. And again, I know some people could be saying like, hey, you know what, Joy, the narcissist is dangerous. The narcissist could be stalking you. They may be tracking you in some way, or you may want a private type of identity, right? Because I know there was one person too, they wanted to like collaborate, and they was going to share their story, but they didn't want to be on camera, right? And I get that too, because like I said, excuse me, talking about this is not easy. It's not. Like, I mean, who wants to talk about it? You know what I'm saying? But who else, if not you, or if not me, who else is going to say it? So yeah, just kind of think about that, so I hope that is helpful. Maybe, I don't know who need to hear this. Maybe somebody is like kind of feeling fears or worries, doubts in regards to speaking up about what they've gone through with the narcissist. And I'm just here to let you know, somebody may need to hear your story, you guys, to help them to get out of a situation that they need to get out of. By you like holding it in is maybe you're keeping other people stuck in a similar situation, So sometimes it's not even really about you. You have to think like outside of yourself. You have to get like, not saying get over yourself, but you have to make it not about you anymore, if that makes sense, right? So you have to think like, who else is this going to help? Like, that's what I started to think about, because I was like, I was in a lot of pain, you guys. I'm not going to lie. I really was. And I didn't show it. I didn't show it. I remember one time when I was doing, it was sort of like a therapy counseling sessions that I was doing back in 2014 after I went no contact with the Narc. And I remember the girl, she didn't have experience dealing with the narcissist or narcissistic abuse. Honestly, I didn't really hear that many people talk about it on YouTube like that. There was like people on like online, but it wasn't as, popular as it is now, right? But she was like, I remember we was going upstairs to do the session, and because I was doing it in an actual center. And I was like, just being myself, like, oh, hey, how you doing? Stuff like that, And she was like, Joy, she's like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, you're right. Because I was just still hurt, I was still hurting. And sometimes I feel like, when you get hurt, you may try to pretend like you're happy. You may try to pretend like everything is fine, but it's really not, And some people, if they know you enough, or they may have, like, you told them certain stuff, or they know you're going through a situation, they'll be like, oh yeah, I know they're just trying to be happy. They're just trying to put on a front, not like in a way where you're being deceptive, but you just don't want nobody to see you like in a vulnerable position, or you don't want to know. Like, some people was probably taught the belief like, oh, if you show your emotions, or oh, if you show your feelings, that's weak, or stuff like that. But I just want to let you know, whether you're a male or female, like, it's okay to show your emotion. Like, it's nothing wrong with being vulnerable, but again, to the right person, right? It's not just anybody you can be vulnerable with, not anybody you can share certain stuff with. Like, you got to be careful about that, right? Because some people can take that and use it against you, like individuals that are narcs. But normal, healthy people that whether they care about you, you can trust, good people, right? Tell them, not a narc or a toxic, dysfunctional person, or an individual that's just, whatever. So, but yes, you guys, it's okay to express yourself. I know kids do it all the time. Kids don't care. But yeah, and then older people, like older folks, like, they express themselves. They don't care either. That's why I'm like, that's an interesting dynamic. But anyway, you guys, I don't want to drag this on for too long, but I hope that this was helpful. This was just more so like an inspirational video. But also real quick before I do go, I did want to just touch on domestic violence. As I said before, I'll do a part 2 to this, but if you are dealing with that situation, you guys, please do not play around with that. Make sure that you do seek help and support. Please, please, please. That is a very serious thing and not anything to be played with. Okay. But yeah, I just thought I should mention that because I know some people are like, oh, you know, especially if it's a domestic violence situation, you may feel like that person is going to change. You may feel like that person is never going to hit you again, or that person's never going to raise their voice at you. I mean, yeah, don't play around with stuff like that, please. Like I said, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just throwing it out there. But anyway, I love you guys. And I'll see you all in the next video. But before I do go, you guys, I did again want to remind you all to make sure that you do, if you want to connect with me in any way, book a session or inquire about my self-study books. And again, shout out to those of you that support the channel and have gotten my books, my sugar scrub. I love you guys so, so much. It means the world. And also inquire about my my coaching program, my 90-day coaching program called Overcome Narcissistic Abuse and Turn Your Pain into Power. Also, any courses, please feel free to check that out in the link below. And my sugar scrub, this one is the milk coconut. So I'm super excited. I actually got a couple orders. I got to ship them out this week. So if you want to try one, please feel free to do so, you guys. You will love it. Love it, love it. I have milk and coconut, and it's a ginger teas. The popular one that a lot of people like is the ginger teas. That one, most people enjoy that scent the most. I'm actually going to be coming out with another scent very soon. So make sure that you do go ahead and purchase yours today. Give yourself a treat, you know. Spoil yourself, pamper yourself, take care of your body. That's the other thing, you know, after we've dealt with narcissistic abuse or any type of abuse, we forget about ourselves. We don't pamper ourselves. We don't take care of ourselves. We forget about ourselves, like what we want, what we like to do. Like, you know, all that goes to the wayside and the focus goes to the narcissist. It's like, no, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be pampered and, you know, treated good. So, you know, if other people don't treat you good, then you got to start doing that for yourself, you know? And then once you treat yourself good, then you teach other people to do the same for you, right? So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yes, look, you guys, so this is a sugar scrub. I'm gonna put it on my hand. See, this is a scrub. I love it so much. It feels so good. And I actually I used it last week when I was in the shower, because I usually use the scrub like twice a week, usually. Like today when I shower, I just use my I have a body oil. Oh, and actually, you guys, I do have another product which I'm really excited about. I have another product that I'm gonna be sharing with you. Actually, I can give me 1 second, you guys. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. So you guys, I have, my bad. So I have this, it's a shea butter oil lotion. So stay tuned because I'm going to give you guys some more details on this, where you guys can try this out as well. So I'm just really excited. Like I said, you know, if you don't put yourself first, no one else is. You know, we have to be the ones to love on ourselves and take care of ourselves, because obviously the narcissist is not going to do it. Toxic individuals are not going to do it. So we have to do it, right? So anyway, I love you guys. Keep God first. Give the video a like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.